From the heart of the Coachella Valley, this is the Palm Springs Real Estate Buzz on KGX with your host, John Sloan from the John Sloan Real Estate Group in La Quinta.
Welcome back, folks. Our next guest is Robert Moon. He is the mayor of Palm Springs. Welcome this beautiful Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful out there.
So, I was reading in the paper that the all LGBT Palm Springs Council was recognized in Sacramento. What does that mean?
Well, you know, I think it was a nice honor, and we really appreciated it. But you know, I felt when I was there that we weren't just representing the city of Palm Springs, and we certainly weren't representing ourselves. What we were there representing was all the countless tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of LGBT people and their friends, family, and allies who have worked since Stonewall and before.
Sure.
To get us to the point where we are today.
Yeah.
I know my husband and I have been together for 37 years, and in 1981, when we were first together, we couldn't even imagine where we are today.
I'm sure. I mean, it was a whole different world at that point.
It was a different world,
There's
yes.
been a lot of changes that have gone on. So let's talk about Measure C. You know, from a real estate perspective, I'm always interested in that, and you know, I'm glad that it got knocked down. I think that it was going to hinder a lot of business in the community. What are your thoughts?
Well, that was a tough one because I live in Vista Las Palmas, which is, of course, a hot market for real estate and also for vacation rentals. That's people want to stay in those Alexanders that we live in.
Yeah.
And so I was a little torn because it was my friends and neighbors in my neighborhood who were leading this Measure C effort.
Interesting.
People I've known for years because I was president of my community association for quite a while. So I know the people in my neighborhood. But at the same time, looking at it from my official position, I saw where we really need to continue the strict and very good enforcement that we're doing of vacation rentals right now. Because if this had passed, putting the money aside, which is hard to do because that revenue is important.
Of course it is.
But putting the money aside and real estate values aside, they would still be here. Even if Measure C had passed, people would still be doing vacation rentals, they'd still be advertising on Airbnb and VRBO. However, there would be no city resources to enforce the vacation rentals, and it would be the Wild West.
Which is really the key, is the enforcement.
Yeah, because vacation rentals are here to stay.
No question.
You can't get rid of them. It's sort of like these darn cell phones. People's whole lives revolve around the smartphones now, and you're not going to do away with them. You could do ban smartphones because they're destroying our society. But vacation rentals, it's the same way. They were going to be here. Right now, because of the resources we have from the permitting process, which brings us a couple $1 billion a year for enforcement, we can make sure every vacation rental is inspected for safety.
Great.
And we can make sure that the parking requirements and the noise requirements and all these others are enforced. If we lost the legal vacation rentals, we wouldn't have that revenue from permits to do this, and people would be advertising on the internet, and they would be doing it they'd be doing it illegally.
Right. Exactly.
And who are they going to call? You know, someone thinks, I think I have a vacation rental next door, so so we're going to send the police over there to investigate? I mean, it would have been an impossible situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what's going on with downtown. It's really looking great.
It's great. I was driving by there last night and I saw them putting the balloons and things out for the House of Pokey, which I guess must be opening momentarily.
Yeah.
And I've been several times. One of my favorite new places is to sit outside and tourist watch, and there's a lot of residents down there too. It's people watch. Let's say people watch at the new Tommy Bahamas. Awesome, great food, reasonable prices, great drinks, and a great location. And you know what's really awesome too is because of Museum Way being opened, the attendance at the Palm Springs Art Museum is up 30%.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing number of people who saw the museum when the street was cut through, who live here and go, I didn't know that was there.
Exactly. I've lived here for 20 years and there's places I haven't been to, and it's because you don't think about it, and now that it's become more visible, opportunities are going to exist for downtown Palm Springs.
And the Kempton's doing great. I remember when that was first proposed, and I was on the Measure J Commission, and I was also president of my community association. I went before the city council and I wrote about Valley Voice saying that Kempton would be a shot of adrenaline right in the heart of Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And it has turned out to be true. When I think back what we had there for all those years, it's night and day difference.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So what else is going on in Palm Springs that our audience would like to know about?
Oh, there's a
Down
lot.
Valley folks,
What's amazing is the hotel. We didn't have a new hotel built here for years.
Yeah,
Then we got the Arrive Hotel,
right.
then we have the Kempton Hotel, and right now people can see the Andes Hyatt under construction. This is the one I dubbed Stonehenge because it sat there with just a small part of the construction for a couple of years while things got straightened out with the developer, Lawrence Rail. But that's a 150-room hotel and 30,000 square feet of retail on the ground floor. It's a very large area, and it's going great guns. It should be open, it should be finished within the next year.
So what are you hearing is becoming the draw for the downtown area, Palm Springs? Parties?
No,
No,
but,
I'm kidding.
Palm Springs, when I moved here 17 years ago, it was people, it was a different demographic than we have today. 'Cause Palm Springs has been rediscovered, and it was discovered back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s. It was really hot. Then it sort of faded off a little bit. The recession hurt us quite a bit.
Yeah, it did.
And there was a
Big
time when I moved here in the early 2000s when in the summer you could shoot a cannon down Palm Canyon and do no damage. But now it's busy. I mean, you gotta go down there at night this time of year and it's packed.
Yeah.
But it's because we have the type of restaurants, the type of hotels, and the other types of entertainment that the millennials enjoy. So we have a very diverse group of people coming now. The LGBT community, the millennials, and even the older people. Although golf is not the draw it used to be.
No, it isn't. It isn't. We're seeing more Europeans come as well. I mean, they actually do like the heat,
Oh, the Germans particularly, and also we're also getting more and more tourists from China and from India.
Oh, I
But
didn't know
another
that.
thing you asked about Palm Springs is once upon a time golf was the big draw to the valley.
Right.
Now people who come to Palm Springs are younger, and they're professionals, and they want to hike, and they want to bicycle, they want to go to cool restaurants for dinner, and then go to cool bars to drink after dinner or before dinner, and we've got that to offer them now.
And what's nice is that the businesses aren't closing like they used to.
No. And another thing is you'll notice in Palm Springs we have a lot of new development of single-family homes or condos that nothing's really affordable in Palm Springs.
It's getting tough, isn't it?
But we have this new development that people that, the professionals who live in San Diego and San Francisco and Chicago who want to have a place in Palm Springs can afford to buy them. And so that market is really booming. You notice on Talkwoods Canyon now there's all that construction, new development called the Vibe, which is going in there, which is 72 single-family residences and 93 condos.
Yeah, that's great.
And also the Dream Hotel across from the convention is under construction, and that's actually going to be 171 rooms and 34 condos. It's going to have condos, and it's right across from the convention center. Beautiful place. And people who want to buy a condo there and live there and have hotel services can do that. There'll be 34 of those luxury condos.
Palm Springs is a happening place.
It is, and it's an exciting place to be. And what's wonderful is to go downtown now in the evening, even in the summer after the sun's gone down, and you go down there by that Starbucks, which is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
and you can walk down there, and the place is full of people in the evenings as it gets cooler. And people are out playing guitar, and I've seen painters out there painting the mountains and the hotel and the other areas. It's a busy, happening place, and it's just fun.
I agree.
Oh, and another thing too is we now have 1,531 underground parking places, and it's surprisingly we're trying to make sure people know they're there, because you will see people downtown fighting over a parking place when there's 1,000 parking places sitting empty. Because the city bought back the old underground parking. We totally refurbished it.
Where is that?
It's right under the downtown development. You can.
Oh, okay.
There's two
I didn't realize
entrances.
that.
Where the Hyatt is,
Yeah.
there's one that used to where billets went down there, but now it says public parking. You go down there and you're in 1,150 public, and then the hotel has 400 parking places. So there's 1,500 totally, but there's 1,150 public free parking places down there, and it's freshly redone, well lighted. It has security people down there 24 hours a day, riding little golf carts around
Sure.
to make sure it's safe. And there's new elevators taking people up into the. You can park on the ground, take an elevator up, and you come right there by the new Blaze Pizza. And you can also enter across from the Palm Springs Art Museum. Where used to you could only go up into that parking garage. Now you go down and you're underground, and you've got all those parking places.
Palm Springs has grown up.
I know, we're really, and historic preservation is booming. You know, we saved the town and country center, and I think we're going to see some action on that soon. We've recently approved new colors, going to be painting it and fixing it up a little bit on the outside till they decide exactly what they're going to do with it. Grit Construction, who did the downtown, owns that. So town and country is going to be awesome when it's done. I wouldn't be surprised to see some plans come out for that by the end of this calendar year.
All right, we'll look for that. Folks, we are talking to the mayor of Palm Springs, Robert Moon, and I want to thank you so much for coming in this Saturday morning.
It's always a pleasure.
It was wonderful having you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
From the heart of the Coachella Valley, this is the Palm Springs Real Estate Buzz on KGX with your host, John Sloan from the John Sloan Real Estate Group in La Quinta.